what's going on, fellow captains? It's Muse. So we got some B-roll of Elder Scrolls playing here. There was some things I wanted to talk about related to the topic I'm going to be discussing, but not necessarily the battle, so I threw this clip in here just to give me a little bit of extra time to talk about those things. So what I want to talk about is, in any given battle, you're going to see one of three basic player types. The first one being, and this has to do with their motives during the battle. So the first one's going to be the player that just wants to survive. Those are going to be your players playing at the back of the map, playing behind islands, literally just not in the fight the entire match until the entire team is dead and they're forced into the fight. Second type is going to be your damage farmer. Somebody who's just strictly out for damage. Those are going to be the types that, you know, rather than shoot at the DD spotted 5 kilometers away, they're going to shoot at the battleship 15 kilometers across the map. And then the third type is going to be your XP players or your objective strategy players, the people who are actually looking to win the game. Usually those people end up in the higher XP on the team. They're doing whatever's got to get done to win the game rather than focusing on damage or surviving or any of the other motives people may have. So I see a lot of the first two types. I don't see a lot of the third type, and I'm one of the third type. I don't always have the highest damage games, but I'm always towards the top of the team XP. Don't get me wrong, I have my bad games where I finish bottom, I finish mid of the pack, but normally in a given battle, I'm top side of the team. I'm pretty used to being in the top 3 on the team. I do a lot of support play, things like that, that enable me to affect the battle. So let's go ahead, get to ships, get to our featured battle. And it's going to be AL Baltimore. Now, since I have AL Baltimore and regular Baltimore, I run my AL Baltimore as a Beepley stealth build. We're going to be on Greece here. And Greece, notice where center spawn. Greece, this Bravo cap can be very, very problematic. You have to at least contest this Bravo cap. Now, it's only a 1 DD game. Our DD spawns on the right side. If you lose this Bravo cap, it is extremely difficult to get it back. The reason for that is the big island in the middle of the cap, and all somebody has to do to keep you from turning it is park behind that island, which we're going to do to the red team. You're gonna see us literally just keep them from turning this cap. And that's what we end up doing most of this game. This game, it's gonna feel like I didn't do a whole lot, and we're gonna end up with the highest XP in the game. And this is playing for the win rather than playing for damage. There's things you have to do to get wins that sometimes aren't gonna result in you having, you know, a 200,000 damage game. It's not always favorable. You know, it depends on your build, your ship, what you're, you know, what you're actually capable of. But most of my ships I set up to play very supporty kind of roles. Don't get me wrong, I do have my DPM builds, you know, for my American cruisers. I have my Scott builds that I'm just going out. And from battle to battle, my motives change, you know. Sometimes I'll get aggravated after taking 2-3 losses and just jump in a DPM ship because there wasn't enough DPM on my team and just go out and see who I can kill. Most of the time, that's not the way I play, though. Sometimes, you know, you get frustrated with this game, and that's natural. It happens. So starting off here, again, like I said, this Bravo cap, you do not want to lose it. We can see where their DD is. It's Jaeger on Jaeger over there on the right side. And we have a Cleveland and some battleships here at Bravo. Now, I don't want to let them just have this Bravo cap. Again, if you lose this Bravo cap, it is very hard to get back once it's lost. So you almost have to have somebody to contest it. There's a close-up picture of what we're dealing with. You can see the 2 ships behind me. Now, the only reason I'm able to contest this cap is those 2 ships behind me, because they are keeping everything else from pushing this cap around the corners. If those 2 ships leave me and go to the flanks, I'm dead in this cap. And I get that so many times on this map where you're forced to contest the cap a lot of times, whether you're a DD, a cruiser, doesn't matter. You have to contest this cap, and then the 2 ships that are behind you that are literally holding everybody from pushing you go to the flanks, and then there's nothing to stop the push happening. You're in here deep. You have to be in here deep. But it's a play that has to get made. Somebody has to contest this Bravo cap. You can't just give this cap away on this map. So we're going to roll up, deal with this Cleveland over here, be cognizant of all the battleships that have pretty eyes on us. Cleveland ends up beaching. He's kind of pinched in there. We know there's battleships back there, so we don't want to push around. Our main purpose here right now is contesting this cap. Just keeping it from turning to red. That's it. That's all we want to do right now. If we get shots on things, we get shots on things, but our main purpose of being here is to keep this cap from turning. And again, I have the 2 guys behind me. They played it well. They were able to keep these guys from wanting to push around. We see the Veneto coming around, so we're going to tuck back in. And we're going to play a lot of games with this Veneto. The other battleship is going to leave, go to Alpha. That leaves me and just Veneto in the cap. And it's going to be the Missouri over there. Now, I've gone dark, so I'm expecting him not to have guns to me, and he doesn't. You can see RDD goes down there. That, in a 1DD game, gives the red team a massive advantage right now. We're going to take some shots at this Missouri. We can see the Venetos pushing around trying to get a shot on us, so we're going to push up and tuck into this island. That's going to leave us basically dealing with just the Missouri and not the Veneto and the Missouri. It's very easy to get pinched in this position, end up fighting on 2 different angles. So we're going to take advantage of this island, cut the Veneto off so he has no shots on us. That leaves us with just the Missouri. You can see our 2 ships are still back there, so Veneto is not eager to just push around. Missouri got chewed up doing it. And now we're dark again. And we can see Veneto has pushed back in. He's back behind the island again. And they still don't have this cap. In a minute here, halfway through this game, in about 3 minutes, I'm going to show you we're down on ships, we're down on points, and we're down on caps. And we're still going to end up winning this game. So I put the radar on the Veneto just so the 2 ships behind me can see what he's doing, what he's trying to do. Right after the radar runs out, he's in my sonar range. I pop my sonar. I just want to keep tabs on him. I don't want him YOLOing around that corner because a close-in knife fight with a Veneto is not going to end well for me. And because I have the Beepley build, I have some advantages. I have a low concealment. My concealment is the same as my radar, 9 kilometers. So it's, you have to get within my radar to get a spot on me. So the DD is not willing to do that. And I also have more speed and more rudder on Baltimore. On my regular Baltimore, I run Baltimore. It's a DPS build, damage per minute, DPM, whatever you want to call it. Basically a damage build. On this one, I'm running Beepley and running it for the stealth and the maneuverability. And even though it's a Baltimore, it handles a little bit more like a light cruiser than it does a heavy cruiser. And you're going to see that here in a moment when this Veneto ends up finally coming out and trying to get a hold of me. So now I'm spotted. I know the DD's within range. And you can see he's down in that delta cap. So we're going to push out. And it's getting to be a desperate situation. Like, most of our flank is pretty beat up. Again, we're down caps, down ships, down points. And so I realize this Veneto's going to end up pushing here, and I'm just like, okay, I need to start heading out. And there you go. You can see we're down ships, down points, down caps. It's not looking good. Halfway through the battle. And I'm faced with some choices here when I leave this cap. I can engage this Veneto, or I could just sail straight the way I'm going right now and get out of spotting range and be able to stay dark. I could also turn in and use the island to break spot, the island down there towards Delta. So I have two options to stay unspotted and just get out of there and survive. Instead of doing that, I'm going to try to help the battleship that's been supporting me this entire time. He's already got a couple battleships over there at Alpha. He's got the Veneto here at Bravo. He's got a GD down at Delta. So I don't want to just leave him to his fate so I can stay dark and survive. Like you can see what my options are right there. We know the Veneto's going to be coming around Bravo. He's got that whole Charlie Delta side secured. So yeah, rather than just go dark and survive the battle, we're going to engage the Veneto. And that's hopefully going to draw some fire. And that gives our battleship a chance to work on the Veneto, work on these other guys over at the Alpha cap. It is a high-risk play because I'm a cruiser. But again, I have more of a light cruiser vibe with the Beepley build. I'm able to duck and dodge and do things that normally you probably couldn't do in Baltimore. I mean, you could, but it's not as efficient as when you have Beepley with, you know, perks for the rudder and perks for the speed. So here we see the DD. We're going to take a shot. He's pretty far out there, but you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. So if we can help get him off the board, that's what we need to do. When we fire at him, we get spotted. That's going to tell Veneto, hey, I'm right here. So now the Veneto's right on my butt, 6 kilometers, so I need to worry about him. For right now, we're going to try to create some distance, just use our back gun. Distance is my friend at this point. So we get a defend there. We're going to keep him from turning that cap. And we're just going to keep the defense on him and keep him from, you know, that's been what we've done this whole game, has denied them that Bravo cap, and we're going to continue to deny that Bravo cap, just not by holding the cap this time, by farming him for defense. And as you can see, we've completely reset him off 3 salvos with the rear gun. And we're also slowly chipping away at his HP, and that's going to help this battleship out here to my right as I'm facing, but left from where we spawned. Veneto fired, so I'm going to turn and get all 3 of my turrets on him. We'll get a fire. Gonna go back to the back turret till I see him fire again. There it is. Fired. We're gonna come back around, bring all 3 turrets back. And as you can see, I've opened up the distance to almost 9 kilometers, and that was my goal, was to create distance. The more distance I have, the easier it is for me to dodge shots. I didn't want to be in a, 2-kilometer knife fight with a Veneto. That's not going to be a win for me. Which is why we had to leave the Bravo cap, but as you can see, they didn't capture the Bravo cap. Now they're down on ships. We're still down on points and caps, but they only have 3 ships left. And this Veneto now is in a very bad way. And he turns his focus to the battleship in front of me, and this enables me to just bring all 3 turrets to bear and start closing back in on him. And now, even if I have to go vertical, I have the 2 front turrets to work with, rather than just the 1 back turret. There you can see we hit another fire on him. He DCs that immediately because he's low health, so any damage he takes from this point on, whether it be a gun, a fire, it's perma. Now, our battleship out there, who supported us the whole game, is taking focus off the Veneto and the other battleship that is now into Bravo, which I believe is the Roma. And there you see we hit a perma-fire, but it doesn't matter because Massachusetts just absolutely yanks him out of the game. Roma thinks he's going to go dark, but I'm a radar cruiser. Guess what? You're not. Your smoke ain't going to help you, bro. So we get resets on Roma. We fought for this Bravo cap the whole game. The whole game. This is where we spawned. This is what we fought for. And again, we weren't out for damage. We were out to win this game. And right now, we're up 4 ships to 2. Score's almost tied. We have the cap advantage. So we've completely reversed the fortunes of this battle from the midway point. At midpoint, it wasn't looking too good. Now we're in a good spot. Now this game is ours to lose. And this Roma is not long for this world. Get the AP kill on him. And that leaves just 1 cruiser. Just 1 cruiser. I'm really healthy, so I'm going to go in and get the spot on him. I might not get the spot because that other cruiser's coming around up top. I don't know which one of us gets the spot, but we're going to go back into this Bravo cap, the cap that we fought for all game long. Our cap. And on Greece, this Bravo cap is so important, and I see so many teams just give it away right at the beginning of the game because nobody wants to contest it, and that is just the wrong play. Like, that Bravo cap is so hard to take back once it's lost. Like, all somebody's got to do is just sit behind that island and hold it. So yeah, we're going to end up with like 75k damage, not the highest damage game for a Baltimore. We're not in a DPM build. But as you can see by the results, we're going to finish highest XP in the game. And yeah, it might have felt like we did nothing, but we were playing the objectives, we were playing for the win. And that's absolutely vital in games. And yeah, that's all I have for you. I appreciate you, captains. I'll catch you next time. Good hunting, fair seas. Take care. Bye.